Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you. And I welcome you to the 10th episode of my Nilim Sonowal talk show. And today, I'm very excited to meet you again. And because of your blessings, because of your love and support, I'm able to conduct this 10th podcast episode. And my intention is to to help you grow faster in your life, so that I bring different people into my podcast, so that you can gain the information, the insights, and implement in your life. So I welcome you again to this live podcast, and I'm very excited to introduce our guest Jeanette Walton, a renowned career branding consultant from Australia. So who is Jeanette Walton? She is like with a experience over 12 years. She helps individuals and businesses elevate their professional brand. Okay, so Janet is a leading expert in her field. Her impressive background includes advanced certifications in resume writing and a tertiary degree in writing and editing as well. And there's more to that. Zenith's expertise spans in various areas, including career brand strategy, content creation, and presentation. Amazing, right? She has worked with diverse clients across multiple industries. She delivered tailored solutions that empower them to achieve their career goals, right? Throughout her career, Janet has received numerous accolades, and also including like presenting at esteemed institutions like Swinburne University and sharing her expertise to various channels, including LinkedIn as well. So today, Janet will share her valuable insights and expertise with us, and she'll also give some actionable tips and advice on how you can build a strong career brand that is going to be stand out in 2025. So please join me in welcoming Jeanette Walton to the 10th episode of our podcast show. Here, hi
Hello.
Janet,
Hello, everyone. Thank
welcome.
you. And what a pleasure to be here for your 10th episode, yeah? Beaming
Yes,
into
yes.
Australia.
Yes, I'm very glad to have you in this 10th episode of my podcast. And I also want to give you thank from my bottom of my heart for sparing your valuable time and energy to help our audience with valuable insights. Okay.
It's it's a
Yeah.
pleasure to be here. I know we're both quite passionate about spreading the word on the importance of branding for individuals, yeah? Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. So, before starting our talk, so Janet, can you briefly talk about like what you do, how you help others? Like, yes, we are eagerly
Oh,
want to hear from you. Yeah.
sure. I mean, you've done such a wonderful intro, but I'll add to that. Yeah. So as you mentioned, I've got like over 12 years experience in the career development industry. So I first started out as a resume writer, really. So writing resumes, LinkedIn profiles, cover letters, all sorts of career documentation. And over those 10 or 12 years, I really started to notice how important branding was, particularly on platforms like LinkedIn. Yeah, like it's really got to be clear, and probably in your resume, etc. Too, to recruiters, you've got to immediately convey your brand, what you stand for in terms of your future career objectives. Yeah, that's where I've diversified into career branding. So I still produce career branded collateral for people. So that's resumes, LinkedIn profiles, biographies. I help people apply for jobs. I help people to bring in new audiences on LinkedIn, for instance. But in addition to that, I've also recently developed what I call the 7 core career brand elements framework. So I use that to undertake deep dive consultations with clients where we define their optimal career brand for them to use across their collateral and content. So that's a foundational career branding that helps them to better promote themselves and interact with others. Yeah, they have a far better understanding of their unique brand. And then complementary to that is for good 15 or more years, I've been editing for several Australian universities, and that's on a casual basis, but regularly editing for them. And I think that's been really beneficial to my work as a content creator, because I'm really good at keeping it clear and concise and immediate, which is really important with most branding these days, whether that's a resume, a profile, etc. You've got on average 5 to 7 seconds to bring the audience in and have them interested. So that's why it's really important to have that quick, immediate, clear career branding.
Oh, love it, love it. That's a beautiful thing, and your actually journey really inspires me a lot, and I hope
Thank you.
it inspires other people as well. Yeah. So, like, as we all know that we are at the bottom of this year, say 2024 is going to be end very soon,
Very
and we are
soon.
going to welcome 2025. And so let's prepare. Let's prepare for the 2025 with this beautiful talk. And yeah, so career is important for many people now. Since our talk is on career branding and how to stand out in 2025. So Janet, can you tell us a brief about like what is career branding and like why it is so important for professionals at the all stages of their life, not only one stage, all stages. Yes.
Yeah, sure. So as I touched on in my intro, so career branding is effectively how you define and promote your core professional strengths and offerings to others. So that includes internal drivers, unique or value-add experiences, key differentiators. So even if you're starting out, that could be transferable experiences you've had if you're starting out in a new career, and those, I think that's where your personality, those inner drivers, and those unique experiences really come into it as well for those new starters. So it immediately highlights to target audiences your career specializations as well as your aspirations. So as we've both mentioned, we really live in a highly competitive and highly digitized world now. So there's an expectation by most that you'll have an online profile or brand no matter what stage of career you're at. So, for example, recruiters are highly likely to check out your online presence after receiving your job application. They want further evidence, further validation. And customers are also probably going to seek you out online for investigation and validation purposes. It's been estimated that there are around 250 applications for each vacancy. So that was a US statistic, but it's probably relevant to our markets as well if we think about the competitiveness. And as I mentioned, you have around 5 to 7, up to 10 seconds to convince recruiters and other target readers that you're worth probing and following up with. And if we also factor in the abundance of information overload, branding's become even more important. So I recently saw another statistic that there's anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 online ads on a daily basis that we're all exposed to. So it's even more important than ever to ensure you have a strong, clear career brand message.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is like there is so much competition, and now it is very important to have the digital presence.
Yep.
It is not an optional now. It's a very important, and that's where like career branding comes into the picture. Now today, like even I also talk about personal branding and like like how does this career branding and personal branding differ according to you? Are they connected, or like if so, how do you see this thing? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So they're definitely interlinked. Career and personal branding are interlinked, as your personality should be integrated into your career brand. And, that I've done numerous posts about the importance of keeping it human, particularly now we're up against AI as well, yeah? So now we're competing with AI in terms of search rankings, content creation, etc. It's even more important than ever to incorporate your individuality into career brand content and messaging to help you stand out from both AI as well as human competitors. I've also explained in a condensed ebook that I recently produced that the core difference between career and personal branding. So while many currently talk about personal branding, including your good self, it's career branding that really will accelerate professional goals and objectives. So it's tailored more specifically to enable you to realise and promote your professional ambitions. So there's definitely that interweaving of the two, but career branding is really more focused on your professional goals and ambitions.
True. Very well said. And yes, career branding, like if you want to accelerate your career, then you need to focus on this career branding. And this is the like now people are getting aware actually, like because in LinkedIn and like networking, because now people are getting aware, but they need to do more research, they need to learn something more so that they can faster their career branding. So how can now the professionals create a standout career brand in 2025, like in rapidly evolving this digital landscape, right? Especially with the rise of AI is coming and other new technologies as well as coming. So like what do you suggest in this regard?
Sure. I mean, I don't know about you, but my head sometimes spins at the rapidness of all these technologies that keep arising. I mean, the way AI's escalate is just amazing, yeah? But I guess for me, what I think is really important is essential to get those career brand foundations right. Yeah, I think that's going to help you to stay contemporary and aligned as things continue to change and shift. To be able to boldly and convincingly speak and exemplify your own unique career brand. So that's being true to yourself. So who am I professionally? What is my career purpose? And how do I want to be recognised? And really importantly too, how do I stand out from others? So that sort of inner knowing of your brand identity, and that brand identity interrogation will help you to develop strategy and content that keeps you vigilant and competitive. So in terms of rapidly evolving digital landscapes, in my own business, I've slowly but surely continued to expand my brand reach. So if you check me out online, as you'll see in my LinkedIn profile, I now have a link to my YouTube channel, along with my LinkedIn company page, my website, etc. So it's really important to just keep building and expanding your digital presence, yeah, to keep up with it. And as part of that foundational career branding, something I regularly highlight in posts is the importance of the 3 marketing C's, which are clear, consistent, and constant. So apply those across your interconnected digital branding suite, like I do, to continue to advance your reachability as well as your credibility. So as we've mentioned, technologies like AI, they're rapidly evolving. And so it's really valuable for us to keep evolving our career brand profiles and to keep demonstrating the unique human value that we offer, yeah? So I think if you establish those strong career brand foundations, you're going to be able to keep up with this rapidly evolving technology.
Yeah, absolutely right. And good. Yeah, you said about this foundational thing. Yeah. Work on the foundational thing. Yes, technologies will come, AI or like we don't know what more technologies will come in the future,
Yep.
but make the foundation is strong and think about like how to be recognized, like, how to be seen, like how to build that credibility. And for that, yes, you can use the AI. AI will definitely help you to build that
Yep.
credibility as well as like other things, the unique value. Like with the help of AI, like 10 years ago, yeah, 20 years ago, it was very difficult. So your personality. Now, with the help of this AI and other tools, you can show your unique personality, and people love unique personality, right? This is what I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with AI, I generally recommend, like, I guess, use it to set up the bare bones of your resume or your LinkedIn profile, etc. But then you really need to interrogate that information, or have a professional like me or a resume writer have them interrogate it, so you can build on what AI's produced for you, because AI's only going to use the information you provide it, yeah. So you then need to further interrogate it or get someone else to interrogate to expand on what it's produced for you.
Absolutely right. So as we know that you have worked in LinkedIn and you help other LinkedIn professionals as well, and I've seen you are very active in LinkedIn. So I
Yep.
really get inspired from your posts and the things you do
Thank you.
consistently. Yes. So like the for the people like who want to build their personal brand or like career brand in LinkedIn. So like what do you suggest? What are the essential elements that every LinkedIn profile should have to reflect a strong career brand?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're both real fans of LinkedIn. Like it's a massive opportunity for people using LinkedIn. It's got I believe it's over 1 million members worldwide now. So it's a really critical component of any career brand profile. If you think about search rankings, I recently spoke to a career LinkedIn strategist who mentioned like the power of the back engine of LinkedIn. When people do Google searches for you, for instance, your LinkedIn profile is often one of the first things they'll see. So it's a really powerful tool to use LinkedIn professionally. And so if you're not on LinkedIn, and whether that's as a job applicant or as a business owner, you're not only limiting your ability to convince target audiences because there's so many opportunities to provide evidence on LinkedIn, but you also could be impacting on your findability. Yeah, so others will be superseded when people do searches. And in terms of the essential elements of a LinkedIn profile, firstly, every LinkedIn profile should have a headshot image as well as a strong killer headline. So that's that top part of your LinkedIn profile. So the headshot image will immediately make you more appealing when found in searches. Yeah, so people want to know the person behind the profile or the brand most of the time. So your image is going to help with that. According to LinkedIn Talent Solutions, LinkedIn members with a profile photo receive 21 times more profile views and 9 times more connection requests than those without. Yeah, so you're immediately building some trust and credibility as well through having a headshot image. And your LinkedIn headline is one of the first elements of your profile that you will be seen in searches. Sometimes it's the only element that will be seen along with your headshot image. So it's essential to encapsulate here your core career brand strengths and offerings. So you have 220 characters that you can use in your LinkedIn headline. So optimize that. This should be used to persuade target audiences to click through or read on to find out more about you. Yeah, I just did a post the other day about applying the who, what, and why method. I can't remember. I don't know if I've got that in the right order, but the who, what, and why method when setting up your headline. Feel free to go to my profile and that was a recent post I've done if you want some help to know how to word a LinkedIn headline. And the other thing that's really important on LinkedIn is the main about summary. So in addition to your employment history, that provides readers with a career brand snapshot of who you are, what you offer, and how you can help. So that should really expand on your main headline and use bullet lists and headings, etc., to make it easier to navigate and take in. So constantly be thinking about that you've got that 5 to 7 seconds to draw readers in. Yeah, so those top 3 elements are really important on your LinkedIn profile to draw readers in, and then possibly for them to want to find out more, read further on, or make contact.
Absolutely. And yes, that very good thing you have said that when the people search about you, the LinkedIn profile will come the top of that. And like your profile has profile this thing, photo and that bio headline. Those are the killer things actually, and it increases the visibility, findability, and other things. Yes, and think LinkedIn is actually professional platform, so we should not like profile like this photo. The first thing what will people see, the profile photo, right? And yes, invest some amount on that, clicking that like taking the profile pic, and because it will work like because it's an investment for your career brand, okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's showcasing more of your personality as well, having that headshot image, and something I also recommend that's commonly recommended for your headshot image is shoulders up, forward facing, and friendly looking. Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
look too serious. But keep it relatively professional looking, but friendly looking.
exactly. That's good. That's a very good tip you have shared. And like so we'll go to the next question. So like
Cool.
the content, like people are like creating content, and you are also very creating content consistently, good content. So like what role does content play in building a standout career brand? Can you share some
Sure.
tips for creating impactful content, not ordinary content, but impactful content? Yes.
Oh,
Jeanette.
sure. So some of this it's going to hark back to what I've been saying about that foundational career branding. But I guess speaking from my own experience, I went through a rebrand process about 12 months ago. And I found that the establishment of that strong foundational career brand has really inspired me to produce corresponding content. So it's that if you build it, they will come, as they say in the movie The Field of Dreams, which I've used in posts before. Like if you start believing in that strong foundational career brand, you'll start speaking and exemplifying it, and then others will start believing in it as well. So not only does the regular sharing of content, including insights, strengthen my credibility among target audiences, but it also helps me to continue to expand on those original foundations. And I quite enjoy that. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy that creative process, using that foundational career branding. What can I post about next? For example, the level of interest I receive from certain LinkedIn posts informs me what I should build on or further exemplify across my career branding. So a notable example is that I found that the more personalized or storytelling content resonates with many. So tying in what we've been talking about, the human side of you, So I've been integrating more of my own story into posts and other branded collateral, including like the presentations I provide, etc. So in line with what I said earlier about keeping your career branding human to individualize you, I'd recommend you combine personal content such as anecdotes with evidential content such as statistics. So take your key audiences on a journey where you're both inspiring and informing them, as well as perhaps reassuring them. And also think about using headings, emojis, bulleted lists, so the content appeals to the many scan readers. So again, at 5 to 7 seconds, use it wisely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good insight. And you are creating anyways the content, you are giving values and insight. Also, like to make it more impactful, write storytelling, right? And
Yes.
give some anecdotes because you are connecting with other humans. You have
Yep.
show your that the human touch. That's like we get connected, like emotionally connected. We like we when we hear the stories of other people, like we get inspired, we get motivation. It gives us some drive to do something by ourselves itself, isn't it? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
That's
recently, another statistic, I do like spouting statistics. Another one I recently saw was, I think it was about 81% of consumers want to trust in a brand or business before they invest in it. So that's where bringing in your personality, making you more relatable and appealing to individuals, they're more likely to want to invest in you as a business or brand.
absolutely. And it is said that people buy from people first. They
Yes.
buy you first, then they buy your product, or they after that they buy your service or whatever things. So people buy you first. Okay, that's good. And you can help people buying. But like, how can you help buying? Like by building that trust and like creating storytelling, and those actually will help in that trust building process. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Janet, for sharing. Yeah, this amazing thing. And yes, like so, like for someone now who is new to the branding, career branding we are speaking about. So now, where does it start? Like in LinkedIn, like resumes, or like in networking, like and why? Like, what do you say about this?
Okay, so I've done a fair few posts about the value of LinkedIn, as we've been talking a lot about LinkedIn, but it's
Yeah,
really valuable for testing the market, particularly if you're undertaking a rebrand or a career change. Yeah, so it's where you can really test whether you're going to impact and bring in target audiences. So not only will you be able to evaluate whether your new career branding is going to attract and engage those audiences, including for networking purposes as well, but you'll also be able to self-assess how you feel about your new brand. So as you start to produce posts and other aligned content. So again, going back to my own story of that rebranding that I did about 12 months ago, I feel really passionate now about sharing the importance of career branding with others. And I think LinkedIn has really been the key platform for me testing the market and building from there. So what collateral you produce is really dependent on your future career plans. But I think LinkedIn is one of the best places to start, particularly if you're okay with that more slow burn approach. So I know sometimes, we're really keen to get another job, for instance, but even if you're a job seeker, that strong LinkedIn profile is going to be beneficial for recruiters to find you, in addition to those where you've applied for the role and then they go and look you up. So you've got that dual impact if you have that strong LinkedIn profile in addition to your resume. So there's often also value in having that corresponding resume ready as well, in case it's asked for by recruiters and customers that you've attracted through your LinkedIn profile. So it works both ways, yeah? So I really think it's important to have the resume and LinkedIn profile aligned. They don't, not exactly the same, because there's a lot more marketing liberty on LinkedIn, and that's where people want to find out more about you as a person outside of your more clinical resume. But it's really important to have both ready when you're job seeking in particular, because LinkedIn will bring in more opportunities, while the resume, and they'll then ask for your resume, but also when you apply for jobs with your resume, they will probably go and look you up on LinkedIn. So really important to have the two of those working together.
Absolutely. Align the resume and the LinkedIn profile, and like yes, it is getting the trend. I have seen, like a few days ago, I interviewed some people, and I've seen they're like they're building the resume as well as, and they are giving the LinkedIn. There's a link as well. That's a good move.
Yeah.
Strategic move.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good thing, and focus on that thing as well. So like now some professionals think that they are good, they are skilled, they are hardworking, but some professionals think that they don't need a strong online presence. Okay, and like if they are not actively in job hunting. Okay, so what is your take of this?
Yeah, I've heard that many times from people. I'm not in the market at the moment, even though there's still like a professional that people are going to be checking out with and wanting to hook up with. And so just about all professionals need to have an online presence these days. You don't have to be a job hunter. For example, I've recently had several business owners, including in the construction industry, where you wouldn't expect them to be on LinkedIn as much, but they want LinkedIn profiles because they've realised they're often being looked up online. So people are seeking them out on LinkedIn, for instance. And that aligns with when I had my discussion with the LinkedIn strategist, that think about the fact that it's that professional intent when people go and look you up on LinkedIn, yeah? So you're bringing in the right audiences because they're there for education, networking purposes, etc. And as we mentioned, most customers really want to know the person behind the brand or business, and that aligns with what I said about around 80% wanting to feel they can trust a business or brand before they invest in it. Yeah, so you don't have to be looking for a role to be online. And also keep in mind, if you don't have a suite of digital assets while your main competitors do, you could be missing out on a fair amount of prospects who seek out online evidence. Yeah, that online evidence is really important too. So that includes former customer testimonials, as well as media and other evidence. So it makes sense to have a multi-channel suite of digital assets to keep potential customers clicking and viewing, yeah, finding out more about you. And in terms of industry stalwarts or specialists, think about the professional value from continuing to extend your networks and connections through platforms like LinkedIn. You could again be missing out on a range of referral partnerships and other professional opportunities if you don't have an online presence. It's what we said earlier about there is an expectation now that we all have an online presence.
Yeah, right. And LinkedIn is not only for job hunting. Like you can showcase the good things that you have done, the good projects, like even the entrepreneurs, the businesses. You can showcase the things, and like so you may be good at something. You are the problem expert, but at the same time, someone is like looking for that solution. Even suppose my friend knows that thing he can solve, but if I don't know he solves, then I'll be roaming here and there, like searching for others. Then if he speaks about that problem, I'll definitely go to him, and it will save my time, energy, effort as well, isn't it? Just for a simple example.
Yeah, because LinkedIn it's really your digital business card now too. Yeah, so once you're connected with people, it's a great way to stay in touch and stay top of mind.
Exactly. Right. So yeah, that's a good talk. I'm loving this talk. Really, you are giving valuable feedback and insights. And yes, the next thing is, like, I want to ask you, like, how can the professionals ensure their career brands now it feels very authentic and not overly polished or fake as well. Like because like
Yeah,
everyone is about authenticity. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What
there
is
is,
your
and
take?
there is that fine line, isn't there, between over promoting and promoting, and and it depends on the personality. Like some people love promoting themselves, and others are more modest. But I think if you stay true to your own drivers, ambitions, as well as brand marketing comfort levels, you'll do okay. So as a career brand consultant, I've produced a framework, as I mentioned earlier, that helps clients to establish a career brand that remains true to them as an individual. So that process it's a deep dive process that we go through. We delve into their own specific professional past, present, and future, as well as any relevant personal influences or experiences, to establish a career brand that appropriately reflects who they are, what they stand for, and what they can offer primary professional markets. So it helps them to establish that authenticity. So if you don't feel authentic in your brand promotions, it's highly likely your target audiences are going to pick up on that. So it's that importance again about that foundational career branding that interweaves your personality and your inner values and drivers, etc.
Yeah, yeah, true. And like authenticity, like we say that live in that city, and that city is authenticity.
Yeah,
live,
absolutely.
live in that city, that is authenticity. Good. And people trust people uh, who they see, the stories connects or the things like. And it's good to build the authenticity, because if you are not authentic, other people will find out you very easily.
Yeah,
People are smart. We cannot fake. People will find out
exactly,
you. So be
exactly,
authentic. Be authentic. Yeah, yeah. That's
and
a true
that's
power.
where I've had that experience of noting that when I do the personal anecdotes, etc., like I tell more of my career story, it really resonates with people, yeah, because it's
Mm.
authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yes. So Janet, how do you recommend people balance showcasing their achievements? Okay, they have got the achievements at the same time without coming across as a boastful or like self-centered. Like how they will do these things? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it ties in with what I was probably just saying about that fine line
Yeah.
between promoting and boasting, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so our career achievements should be used to demonstrate and substantiate what we can do for others. And I think if we continue to prioritise and align with target audience needs, while also acknowledging any achievements that were a joint effort, that will help us to stay grounded and relatable when highlighting our career achievements. And I think both you and I like to share our learnings and insights on platforms like LinkedIn, yeah. And I think that's another way that you reduce the chances of coming across as boastful or self-centered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in this case, like I suggest people like, see, you have got the access achievement, that is very good. And like you share the background story, like how did you like achieve that thing? You might have worked hard, you might have like gone through some pain, some
Yeah,
challenges. Yeah, you begin with that, and at the end, like you share that thing, like you become a like TEDx speaker, like you have got this award or something like that. No, when you like show the background story, like people will be connected, they'll be inspired your story, and that's how you can show your achievements, right? Yeah,
absolutely. And that probably ties into with like when you like I write selection criteria responses, and the STAR methodology is what you use for that. So that's situation, task, action, and result. So it's about overcoming. It's often about overcoming a challenge and how you did that. Yeah. So yeah, I
right.
think that that reduces the
Hmm.
chances of you sounding boastful as well. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So now, now for the mid-career professionals, so what do you suggest? So what are, because at mid-career level, like so many people get like stagnated, like they like those things. The opportunities also become very less. So in this regard, like what are some specific strategies so they can apply for their career growth by using this like branding strategy or branding technique? Yeah.
Sure. So, firstly, I think what would be particularly important if you're sort of at that mid career level, is identify your core career aspirations. So, identify what you want to do in the future, whether that's staying in the same company but stepping up, or changing roles, or going into a new industry in the future. So that'll help you to keep your career branding future focused, which is really important on LinkedIn as a marketing tool. So it's recommended on LinkedIn that you brand yourself to attract future focused career opportunities. So I guess if you think about it, there's really little benefit from attracting recruiters to your current or a lower level position you're wanting to step up or step away from. Yeah. So again, and it ties in with that testing the market. So that's a really good place to test the market based on your future career aspirations. So really think about where you want to move to in the future. And secondly, as I mentioned earlier, the more you begin to speak and exemplify that future-focused career brand in line with your goals, the more confident you feel about stretching yourself professionally. So whether that's reaching out to industry experts you can learn from, or sharing insights that highlight your readiness to take on a more senior level role, the more deeply you understand and reflect your career brand's strengths and capabilities, the more likely you are to cultivate new pathways to achieve future career goals.
Yeah, true. That's true. And like, when you reach at the mid-career level, you have already gained so much of experiences and the knowledges, and during
Yeah.
that career, you might have solved lots of problem as well. Okay, fine. Then like, and then as Janet has said already, you decide your aspirations. What are the things that you want to do? So like in LinkedIn, you accordingly write those things, like share the tips, like share the challenges or the problems you solve. Let that's and work for this future goals, like focus on that thing, write on that thing, and network with the people, network with the dream companies that you want to work, or the opportunities you want to get, and network with the people. Like this is how you can do the you can get the opportunities in this mid-career level, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I recently did a career branding strategy session with a paralegal who's been feeling quite stagnant in a role. She's been in it for years, well paid, like easy work to her now. But and she loves the detail, etc. So we did a career branding strategy session where we really delved and helped her to better understand what her core professional strengths are. So that's attention to detail, governance, etc. That she could take into other roles. She doesn't have to stay as a paralegal. Yeah, she's got a lot of transferable capabilities, and that's where a career branding strategy session or a career coaching session with a career coach. I'm not a career coach. That can be really beneficial to help you to think about where you could potentially move based on what you've been doing or you have done in your career in the past.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And one of the important thing that many professionals don't value it, and it is like the power of building network, right? So yes, that's a question to you as well. Like, how does the networking helps in the career branding? So do you have any tips for building meaningful professional this networking or the relationships online, or you can
Sure.
say in
Yeah. Yeah.
LinkedIn?
Yeah, we both know the power of LinkedIn networking. Networks can be such an important part of the career branding and career advancement journey. Yeah, if you build the right connections, they'll help you to continue to strengthen and expand your brand reach and reputation. Yeah, a bit like us, like finding each other and building a partnership, passionate about branding. So, in line with keeping your career brand future focused, find groups and individuals such as on LinkedIn that can help you to achieve your career aspirations. Yeah. So think about people you could learn from, as well as groups, for instance, where you could start to establish yourself as an industry expert. So explain why you're reaching out, though, when you reach out to someone to join their network. Like make it clear to them how it could be a mutually beneficial relationship. So, for example, future co-branding or referral partnerships. I listened to a personal podcast recently, not a professional one, a personal one, and they talked about just that importance of all of us continuing to reach out and find new people, both personally and professionally. Just unimaginable opportunities that can come in from doing that.
Yeah, true. And it is called your network is your net worth. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, that's true.
Something
And also,
I'll relate. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, please.
I was just going to say something that's come to mind about that as well is just the importance of also there's that they recommend over 500 connections on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's the golden number. But really think about quality connections. I mean, I think it's different for the likes of us because we're working with a range of professionals. But if you're mainly wanting to build networks within your industry or market, really go for those quality connections. Otherwise, LinkedIn's going to start sending you updates and prompts that aren't really relevant to your industry or market, and you're also likely to then see a lot of information that isn't relevant based on those connections that aren't relevant. Yeah,
Exactly. And I think we are the best example of this networking example. Like
absolutely,
LinkedIn,
absolutely.
we build a
The power of
network.
LinkedIn.
There's a power deal there. I never thought that one day I will talk with this Jeanette Walton, or you never thought, but this is the power of LinkedIn. We connected. We have seen the post. We like inspired. Like we got value. So we got connected, and this how like working together, collaborating together, and helping others as well. Good.
This helps to spread the word further, doesn't it, when you work together? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now the thing is like, can you speak about like what are the some current trends in career brandings that the professionals should be aware of? Many people are not aware of. Like, can you say like two, three trends from your side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, I've probably covered this with what we've talked about. I think
Yeah.
the importance of integrating you as a human into your career branding is essential based on the emergence of AI. As I
Mm,
touched on, I attended a webinar recently where they talked about how it's competing with us in terms of sharing our or being recognised as experts online. Yeah, so when people do a Google
yeah.
search now, there's a large chunk that's AI generated content, and rather than them finding you as an expert on that subject they're looking up, they've got the AI there. So that's where it's really important to, they were talking about the importance of your headlines, like factoring in the human into your headline, so AI can't replicate that. Yeah, so we've really got to start showcasing our humanity and our personalities to differentiate ourselves from AI content. I know Google's they've changed some methodologies because they're worried about the lower quality content that people are now finding through what's generated by AI. Don't get me wrong, AI has its benefits, but yeah, we still want human interactions and human advice and human connections. And also factor in the 5 to 7 second viewing rule that I've repeated over and over when producing career branded content. You really have to make it immediately clear to target audiences what you stand for and what you offer. Like, there's just so much information out there now and so many competitors. Yeah, and it's a global market now, so you're not just competing with people in your market, you're competing with people all over the world. So it's more important than ever to have strong, clear, concise and constant career branding online in particular.
Yeah. That's a very lovely message, and yeah, we are almost at the end of our this podcast talk. But I have one or two questions more to you because like it's a
Sure.
very powerful talk we are having. So, like, could you share a success story of someone who transferred their career process through your effective career branding? Yeah, we'd
Sure,
love
I'd
to
love
hear that.
to. Yeah. One of my favourite stories is a lovely lady called Aoma, who's in the higher education sector. So she wanted to ensure she had job opportunities when she permanently relocated from Sri Lanka to Australia. So up near where
Oh,
you are. We'd previously worked together on the editing of a PhD thesis, which was undertaken through an Australian university. So that's how we were connected. Yeah, and then she's come to me to help her produce career documentation to obtain work when she moved to Australia. She wanted to permanently relocate to Australia. So our ability to showcase her relevance to the Australian market including via the ongoing professional connections she had to Australia because of the PhD she'd done here, as well as her transferable capabilities that she demonstrated in Sri Lanka. She was quite high up in the higher education sector at the institution she worked for in Sri Lanka. So our ability to really showcase all of that resulted in her obtaining multiple job opportunities in Australia. She actually messaged me about 6 months after she'd moved here to say that she'd had too many job offers. She was so overwhelmed but grateful at the same time, and that was the dual career branding approach that we undertook as well. So the resume, like I talked about earlier, being able to send out the resume for roles that were available, but also having the LinkedIn profile to bring people in. She was actually offered to join a teaching leadership panel at one university, and I think that's because of that strong senior level career branding we'd done for her. And within the next 6 months, so I think a couple of months ago, she contacted me to say that she'd actually got a permanent role with a university, so a permanent teaching role, which she never thought would happen so quickly. So that's within 12 to 18 months. And that's now allowing her to diverge off and do some of her research as a side hustle, as I like to call it. So yeah, she's just so pleased with how it all turned out. But it's through that strong career branding that we highlighted that you can come from a different market and bring some skills and experiences that are really advantageous, while also showcasing how she had an understanding of the market she was moving into at the same time.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And yes, I want to congratulate you as well for the great work. Yes, I appreciate work.
And it really helped because she had the right attitude. It's that collaborative approach. Yeah, it's really important that you prepare to be a bit probed when you work with a professional like myself. Like, we're really going to challenge you and probe you about your career history so we can really draw out additional insights. Yeah, and she was really open to that. We worked well together. It was a pleasure.
True. So, yes. So today we have talked many things, and though we cannot talk all the things in this a single podcast, I would like to have more podcasts with you in future. So yeah. So before leaving this podcast, at the last I want to ask you one question. That the question is so what is the one message that you want to convey to our beautiful audiences who are listening for a long time? Yes, they want to hear from you.
Sure. Yeah. So it's probably more than one message, but something I really like to emphasize, I want to say to all your listeners, is that they should be both strategic and patient when applying career branding. I call it the slow burn approach. It's often best in terms of building credibility and authenticity. So don't expect it to happen overnight. Yeah, be strategic and be patient. And I'd also like to say to enjoy the career branding process. I know I've enjoyed what I've done over the past 12 months or so. So have fun getting to know yourself better professionally, and then getting creative with your corresponding content. It can be a really enjoyable experience, yeah, and sharing that with others.
Wow, that's a lovely message and beautiful message. And I hope all of you will follow her advice, and you can follow her in LinkedIn. She is doing an amazing job. Okay. And if you need any help, any suggestion also, she is open to help you as well.
Absolutely, just reach out. Even if you want to just have I offer a 15-minute, no obligation discovery call, which you can book through my LinkedIn profile. I'm happy to at least just have a chat and get you thinking about what you could do to move towards your future career goals.
Yes. She's definitely help you. And thank you, Jeanette, for giving your valuable time, your valuable these insights that so many people are not aware of this. And I want to thank you, my lovely audiences, also for giving your time, your value, and listening this amazing podcast with Jeanette Walton. And thank you again. Bye. See you in the next podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.